Hi, my name is Liz Thompson, and I will be presenting today on a book called What's the Big Secret? It is written by Lori Krasny Brown, who has her doctoral degree in education, and Mark Brown, who is a children's creative author and also was the creator of the show Arthur on PBS, if you remember that show. So the age range for this book is anywhere from preschool to 3rd grade, and it is made for both girls and boys. So it covers lots of different topics in this book. It starts off with talking about how you can tell boys and girls apart, and how perhaps it's their names, clothing, hair, playing, the way that they express their feelings. But really, girls and boys can all do those quite similarly. So as the book says, I'll show you this picture. So actually the only sure way to tell boys and girls apart is by their bodies. If you're a boy, you have a penis, scrotum, and testicles. And then on this page, if you're a girl, you have vulva, clitoris, and vagina. These male and female body parts that show on the outside are called your genitals. Boys' genitals are easier to see than girls, but both are equally important. So just a good, very clear and anatomically correct explanation for that. So then it kind of continues and starts talking about how it's natural to be curious about your body and the bodies of others, but how that's okay to do, but it is a private aspect of people. And then it kind of transitions into like talking about touch and how touch can be a good thing. So if you look at this page, everyone needs good touches and to feel loved and happy. If you want a hug, you can say so, but no one has the right to touch you in a way that feels wrong or uncomfortable. If you don't like the way someone touches you, then speak up and tell him or her to stop. If that doesn't work, tell your mom and dad or another grown-up. Your body belongs to you, and it should say, or you should say, who touches it. So some good protection from child sexual abuse. And then it starts talking about reproduction and eggs and sperm, and how people get pregnant. And it even says, so it has good anatomical views of internal anatomy for both men and women. And it says, usually the sperm and egg meet during sexual intercourse. When a man and woman fits his penis into her vagina, it feels wonderful to share this special closeness when you love someone. So just clearly explaining why people have sex and the way that it would be positive for that future child. And then it talks about pregnancy and having babies, and ends with a cute little note about just accepting themselves where they are. So this book is used to be quite educational about different aspects. There's elements of it is to normalize stereotypical differences between girls and boys, to teach correct anatomy, as that page showed, to help protect from child sexual abuse, and just reinforce a positive sex approach. So the reviews on Amazon for this book are really good. It has like over a 4.5 star review. So I'll read you some of the things people said. So one person said, I used this book to have the talk with my oldest son, who is 10. He is now 19. I ordered it again for my youngest, who is now 10. The book really helps to tackle a difficult talk. It is better for them to learn this type of information at home with their parents and not at school. Another one says, I read this book to my 2 older boys, 4 and 6, and they both were able to understand the information the way that it was presented. It was straightforward and factual. It was comfortable for me to read to them also. This is a great place to start a frank and open conversation in age-appropriate terms. Highly recommend it. And then this one says, my daughter is studying at Columbia University to be a clinical MSW and sex therapist, and I purchased this book for her as she will also counsel young children. This book is beautifully written and illustrated and a wonderful first addition to her growing library for her office. I highly recommend for all parents who are flustered and embarrassed to speak to their children about sex. Sex, it's natural. So really good reviews on Amazon. And so I would definitely recommend this book. The only shortcomings that I particularly see is some transgender topics. They do talk about the differences between girls and boys being anatomical, and so that might get tricky if you're dealing with a transgendered child. But otherwise, I liked how it normalized gave the child good information about how boys and girls can be quite similar, and how touch is normal and positive when in the right relationship. So yeah, thanks for listening.